Hello everybody and welcome to Game 1 of the third place playoffs World Championship 2019. And our player playing from the west side of Kolodny Firma, the first player in Company of Heroes 2 to be rank 1 in all 5 factions at the same time. It is Jove playing as the austere.
And against the auto match god, it's going to be VonAsten coming into the twilight of his CoH2 gaming career. He'll be
twilight.
Yeah, it's like a fine wine. He's just blossoming now. But he'll be bringing in with the USF faction, and they're already locking in the Persian commander for Heavy Cavalry Company.
Yeah, what a beautiful commander. Of course, early game, riflemen able to build defenses, mines, so key actually to have the rifleman pushing the field and able to lay mines once the engagement's kind of finished. I think that's a great early game commander and a great pick. But late game, the Pershing on Kolodny is amazing. What a mobile heavy tank the Pershing is.
And it's going to be just splat infantry squads. It's great against infantry. But one thing I do like about the most recent patch for the USF, mines now laid quicker with the riflemen, so they use all 5 models rather than one taking a break. So it's even stronger now for the USF early game.
Yeah, well, Jove's going to have to be very careful, especially if he wants to go mechanized regiment into light vehicles. Got to be careful of mines. Playing as austere, by the way. I don't think we saw him play austere yesterday. I think we saw him play OKW every time.
Yeah.
And traditionally, I think in Company of Heroes 2 matchups, USF versus austere is a bit more tailored towards USF. They have a bit more of an easier time until austere gets into the later game tech.
It's like you've just upset a beehive early on against USF as austere. Like, no, I've only got 1 MG and trying to twiddle it around everywhere, and it's horrendous micromanagement usage needed.
This is beautiful green cover, by the way, because he's angled it where his opponent can't use it when he comes onto the fuel point. So smart cover from Jove. It's the kind of play we want to be seeing at the top level in Game 1 today. Now,
I was a bit geeky the other day, I'm not going to lie, Dan. I've been looking at Loveness's openers as austere because I think he's probably the king of the faction, and Jove's gone for an even totally more different one. He hasn't gone for the early MG42, he's gone for mobile, well, 4 Gren squads. So this is going to be, he's going to take on USF where it counts, right on the infantry, match them squad for squad.
Yeah, to be honest, I think you need to match up the infantry with that 4th Grenadier squad. Yeah. The machine gun on Kolodny, I think, doesn't cover all of the sight blockers. There's a lot of narrow gaps and flanking points. So actually 4 Grens, I think, is a nice choice. And at the moment, Jove has the field presence, so we're going to wait for VonAsten and see what he brings out.
Good flank there from the rear echelons, forcing just 2v1ing that engagement, forcing the Grenadiers back to base. Nice play there from VonAsten in the early game, but tension's going to be mega high for these players. A lot of money on the line. Yeah,
Game 1 is... Game 1's a serious thing, really. We saw in the Loveness Nagano game, like Game 1, they very respectful.
Yeah.
Loveness Jove, very respectful. Yeah. They kind of treated each other like, you know,
I won't hit you hard, you don't hit me hard, you know.
Yeah. And now that we see, like the Game 1 in another series, sometimes it's like we want to see a crazy strategy, just upset the other player mentally for the second game.
Yeah.
But actually, I think I'm not seeing anything too adventurous here. Still a lot of respect going on.
And my really early enthusiasm for VonAsten is kind of getting quashed a bit. There's triple cap here for Jove so early on as austere on Kolodny. That's almost unheard of.
Yeah, and he's also controlling a lot of resources. Now, VonAsten here has... Oh, my mouse button's not working there. VonAsten here has done very well to... get parts of the map decapped against Jove, so he's managed to cut off the fuel. That's a lot of resources down for Jove at the moment.
He's gone for the resource trade-off in terms of VPs, so at least he's getting something capped. And Lieutenant out on the field, that free squad when you tech up as USF can just be so crucial early game.
It's caused a lot of discussion over the game, actually, because when you do take up as USF, you're always going to get that extra squad. We're actually seeing... mechanized platoon command posts. We're going to be seeing some light vehicles come on the field soon.
I think USF need that extra squad though when they tech up, else it would just be totally...
You're one of those guys, are you?
Yeah. Well, I go 4 rear echelons and hope for the
They should
best.
get an echelon and the lieutenant.
I don't know what guy I am, but yeah, some counter green cover here for you, Dan. And yeah, some good usage of that rifleman field defenses from VonAsten.
Yeah, it's a strange location. I guess that maybe the distance so that they're not having a close range firefight, perhaps.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Go for those Garand snipes, maybe.
Yeah, it's a shame to build green cover and then leave a couple of guys standing off the end of it, though. Not advised, because Company of Heroes 2 does have a true sight system, and if you're not actually behind cover, you're not covered.
Yep. So you may as well be standing out in the open, but a lot of red cover, and red cover for any new player is basically when you're standing in the middle of the road or in water, and it's negative received accuracy, so you basically get really whomped. Your squad will get shredded to bits in red cover. There's a lot of it on this map.
Messed up.
Yeah.
Well, Tier 2 is being built from Jove at the moment, and we're seeing a Stuart for VonAsten. So
very early Stuart. That's going to be almost 7 minutes straight out. It's like a tiger of the early game, isn't it? It's so hard to ping down.
Can see wire being laid. This is nice to see. VonAsten's just trying to make use of time he's got on the field when his enemy isn't there, just to lay some wire, prevent his opponent from getting green cover when he comes into the center, which will eventually happen. Jove there just hopping into the building for some sight before he goes over. He can get rid of that barbed wire. So
yeah. And if anyone got too excited with Jove's triple cap early on,
yep,
been quashed by a counter triple cap from VonAsten. So VP's key in this game. You can have all the resources in the world, but if you do not have the victory points at the end of the game, it's game over.
Well, we can hear that the Stuart is just coming in from off map on the right hand side at the moment. A lot of riflemen just come on here to blob up on the munitions point and clear off the grenadiers.
Brent's got hella low, just escapes with his life. But a 2-2, the choice for Jove. Must have supreme confidence in his light vehicle play, because that is a mismatch if I've ever seen one.
Well, he is going to go in with the AT gun. Now, AT gun with the scout card, not a bad idea really. Scout card vision would be really helpful to spot for that unit. We did just see VonAsten has gone for weapons rack unlock, so he's going to be able to get bars or bazookas. I'm pretty sure it's going to be bars against Austere.
Compound the early game pressure onto Jove. That's going to be a huge problem for him. But he does get a good cut off on the opponents. VonAsten now, minimal resources income. So good play there from Jove.
As we can see, that whole bottom blue area is now decapped. So Jove getting that really important resource denial that VonAsten put on him not long ago. Another
funky tactical map usage there from Dan. And when you've hopefully downloaded the game, free to play if you're new today, it is another, I think used primarily from the Asian players. They love to use the TAC map.
Right, I use it all the time.
To max efficiency, and it's almost like they're in the TAC map longer than they are in the
you know what? One of the top players you'll be seeing in the finals later, LoveNest, is always on that tactical map as primary source of movement. Loads of ways to play this game, and really, really useful tools for controlling huge armies, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm almost scared when I'm pop-capped, because it's like, uh-oh. More things to control.
Something's going to go down as a prioritize.
But ambulance finally coming in for VonAsten. That's nearly a 9-minute ambo. Yeah. Late heals there.
I wonder how he's been surviving without healing up to now.
And he's got a BAR on the lieutenant, which normally gets a bazooka upgrade, so going for that anti-infantry push here is VonAsten early game.
Yeah, I don't think anything serious enough comes out of Austere to need the Zooks, to be honest.
Yeah.
Actually, the bar might be better, more accurate.
When you've got a Stuart, you are pretty sorted in terms of light anti-vehicle play. But there's also a mortar half-track locked in from Jove.
Yeah, he's gone for Spearhead Doctrine, Tiger and the mortar half-track.
Okay, everything. All the Austere fans in chat must be going mad now.
Yeah.
This is good stuff. Finally. No AKW.
Stuart comes in, going to open up on the scout car, but there's the return from the AT gun. You're starting to see a little bit of that vision and the AT gun combination. Beautiful play from Jove, and that's textbook what you need to be doing as Austere to get that AT gun performing.
Top tier play of unit preservation as well, shown by Jove, keeping his 2-2 alive. It's crucial that it gives so much sight for the Austere. And line of sight is, you got to see the enemy to shoot him.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, for anyone that doesn't know the game as well, all of these units, you might see some of them with stars above their portraits, and that means they're getting veterancy. Veterancy can give you ability unlocks, weapon unlocks, or even just additional benefits like sight accuracy. With the scout car, veterancy too, it will get pretty decent additional recon. We'll hopefully get to showcase that in a while.
Thanks. I thought the stars were they're really good at school.
Yeah.
Here's a gold star.
You did well.
But yeah, definitely can swing the game, how much veterancy and how much units you can keep alive to the late game. It's one of the glorious, unique things of CoH2 compared to other RTSs.
Standing by for orders.
I've got a return mortar here from VonAsten.
I like it. See, AE gets mad at me every time I go nuts for more, but come on. This is the map for it. It's beautiful.
Mortars are totally necessary, credible. They drop smoke. It acts as a line of sight blocker. It can be that difference in the final shot of an AT gun missing if you can block it. It's a tool that needs to be used.
But you can go brain AFK, leave it to be, and
you can also do that.
Wipe, so you never know.
But one of the things to note, actually, the benefit of the mobile one, having the mortar barrage, the incendiary, as well as the smoke, there's a lot to go on there.
Yeah, this has got to be the first mortar half-track I think I've seen this tournament used by Austin. Bringing out all the big guns for this third place playoff. P-Gwenzo locked in now for Jove. Great for this map.
This is a really nice push. VonAsten's being very aggressive at the moment. Bazookas on the rear echelons. They're trying to push the scout car away. Lieutenant with the bar forcing the AT gun. The Steward poking on the right-hand side to the fuel, wiping a couple of models off the Grenadiers and forcing the retreat. But I think it's actually VonAsten now that's going to get pushed off the map in a pretty big way. This is going to give some time.
That's a lot of blinking arrows back to base.
Yeah, this is going to give some time for Jove to get back on the map, actually.
Just briefly scared of Austin for a minute. All huddled together for some courageous leadership speech back at base near the ambo. But they'll be back out on the field, full HP, ready to go. 50 cal and mortar to support. I think this is nice, good mixed unit composition here from VonAsten.
Yeah, it's. I think it's a pretty standard build, actually. This. Stewart into the ambulance and then kind of waffle around for a little while until we can get Major and Sherman. But standard build, played well. VonAsten, his goal here really is to get as many resources as possible, bring out the, I think the bigger tank first, save up for the Pershing. I think he'd have a great army on the field, but it always comes down to preservation. And Jove is getting a pretty sizable army, an aggressive army of his own.
Mortar team there, I think, just huddled up and got rifle naded, so mortar team being deleted for VonAsten, but Jove as well is going to try and double up that lead by getting his own MG42, late game MG42 almost, and with the P-Gwens as well, coming around the corners, close range engagement specialist. I think that's a nice swing in favour of Jove there.
We are down to 300 points.
It's good. VonAsten still making use of early game commander abilities. Telemine just got laid by Jove in a position now. We should mention vehicles normally take the paths of least resistance, so they will normally travel on these roads. If you just click into the distance, that's likely to pick up a vehicle at some point, unless, of course, we see VonAsten go with the minesweeper echelons to that direction. Let's have a quick look over here. Great positioning with the 50 cal. And that's going to get an early suppression on Grenadiers trying to flank. Yeah, Grenadiers first
one
sighting.
of the fastest setup times in the game, the 50 cal. So despite its narrow cone of fire, it can redirect very quickly. But those telemines, the best mines in the game, aren't they? The one shot the little light vehicle. So if the Steward gets a bit courageous, goes down that road, boom, that's all she wrote.
This is late retreat. There is the mortar, I think, focused on here. The Austin mortar had a shot a second ago. And got to be really careful when there are low health models.
Yep. Was it a cheeky breaky stolen mortar? No.
No.
So he got his own mortar back, yeah. Austin mortar half track. Sorry, I'm just so not used to it. I was like, what is firing from the...
What is this tool?
It's not a 250 half track? 2-2, finally getting veterancy 1.
Dangerous situation, very close to the rifleman who could have landed a rifle nade. I think maybe slightly out of range there, sure.
Almost had the wrong squad in the wrong place just there with the lieutenant who can't snare. Still going for it, pushing it forward with those riflemen. Finally get battered back by the MG42.
That was the MG42. There was a... I don't know what caused the suppression there.
Good, the old cheeky whip my MG back and forth. Looked out the other way just as we looked at them. But yeah, definitely need some repairs on that 2-2. I think there's only one AT gun shot away from going down.
Not going to get much out of this engagement. And Grenadiers. Jove has been struggling for territory a lot in this game. You can now start to see it in the VP scores. VonAsten leading with nearly 400 VPs. Jove already below 250. Jove just clinging on to that one VP in the center right now.
Hasn't used the spy plane at all once as well, just to get some max vision. I think he's potentially waiting for it. Now that he sees the mage out, who want to see what tank comes on early. If indeed VonAsten goes for an early Sherman or saves for the late game Persian.
Church on low health here. These Grenadiers need to be careful.
Yeah, Dan. It just about gets out. I think that was one shot away from going down. Good play there from Jove.
So, I mean, in terms of teching for VonAsten, be interested to see what he goes for here, because he can wait, I think, quite comfortably for the Pershing. He's definitely had the resource advantage for a long time in the game so far. But you also couldn't blame if you did bring out something like the Sherman.
And I think
and just clear up the infantry, you know, take as much manpower out of...
Speaking of infantry, another rifleman, and fourth one coming in from VonAsten. I think he's just going to try and Zerg blob his way down the mid and end this game for sure, because Jove late game, you do not want to let him get there. But I think
the way you have to think about this, I think, Jove's spearhead doctrine, it's obvious. We know because the mortar half-track's been spotted, so VonAsten's going to know this. So it's like, if he brings out something now, he could force Jove to build like a Panzer IV, before waiting for something like the Tiger, and that would just drain his resources, and it'd be a longer time before he could get that heavy tank out. So it might be a really good idea to do that. We'll see what he does.
Yep.
There's a lot of things to think about whilst you're playing this game. One of them is analyzing your opponent's commander and thinking, can they build this?
Yeah, and just seeing those little reads. Okay, I've seen a mortar half-track. I know he's gone spearhead then, because no other commander in his loadout had that vehicle. So you're probably expecting a Tiger around about the 9 CP, 10 CP mark. So it just depends if VonAsten wants to get that M36 Jackson earlier, because he knows the big Papa tank's coming. He's going to need some anti-tank, much better than the Sherman against the Tiger.
So surprised that Jove has still managed to get this strategic point decapped, which means VonAsten is now actually behind in terms of map control. He needs to be on top of resources if he's going to keep on top of Jove. Jove has just had some time really to start solidifying his position. Vet 1 on the mortar, a second pack gun coming onto the map for Jove, so he's locking down this position pretty hard. He expects, I think he's expecting the Sherman to come out. But VonAsten is still waiting.
Jove bringing the stalling tactics. He just wants to stick as late as possible, get his big tank out.
Great.
He's got his best win condition with that, but look at this combination. Using 2-2 for vision, MG42 for the suppression, and then donk on the head from a mortar half-track round. It's really good combined play from Jove.
Yeah, having the MG there is perfect ambush against an ambush.
2-2 getting brave.
This is a really late retreat. Riflemen have got to go down here. Negative cover may kick in. I think actually
LMG,
they've been removed there.
Picks it up. Just about gets him.
That was a nice mortar hit though. Also helps to force away.
Yeah, you can't hang around and grouped up in green cover for too long with these indirect fire units on the field. Stewart now getting ballsy.
Stewart did actually take a hit from the AT gun that just came onto the map there.
And this is where Oster kind of get into their groove a bit. LMG, Grens, Vet 3 now. Some of them. Beautiful play here from Jove for Oster.
See the mortar there using smoke ability to try and stop the machine gun from firing.
It's no munition cost as well. There is a call in smoke for his commander, but if you can get it free from your mortar, why not? Rebuilds another rifleman squad. I think he may have lost 2 overall now for VonAsten. So yeah.
Game's still looking pretty even. The only thing that isn't even is the VPs. VonAsten's back in the lead now. He's got 2 of the victory points captured. Jove struggling to get on that middle VP, but the right side's been relatively uncontested, and I think VonAsten is giving him a bit too much time there. He needs to keep that pressure on.
Yeah, and as the veterancy racks up on this austere troops, it's just going to be like VonAsten feeling he's losing his early game advantage more and more.
Really worried for if that mortar was going to hit. Smoke dropped there just in front of the AT gun to stop one of the shots landing on the Stuart. That's beautiful, but here's the M26 Pershing tank. VonAsten did decide to wait, and this is a huge tank to bring on 20 minutes into the game. Jove is also waiting for the Tiger. Yeah. So not a bad decision from Jove, really. He's already on battle phase 3.
He's trying to get the... He's doing every spoiler tactic he knows, but Pershing's already out at the earlier CPs now, so if you do go teching for your big call-in heavy tanks, you can get them even faster than in the previous patch. And already proven its worth. 2 models, 1 shot.
Yeah, I think the Pershing is the best infantry killer tank in the game, really. As a heavy tank, the thing is with veterancy, the thing is crazy. As you climb up to veterancy, veterancy 2, it starts to throw grenades out of the tank. They open the hatch, throw the grenades out at nearby infantry. You're like, what?
Bravest crew on earth, just
bravest crew on earth.
Mid-armor fight, still have the presence of mind and the bravery to chuck some nades and to boot. But yeah, sending those Grens running now. Huge swing here for VonAsten.
Scout car doesn't want to be there. Just picked up veterancy 2, so huge sight range now. But the scout car could be going down immediately. Jove pops the smoke. Oh. That was huge. The splash damage nearly killed it, but it does get away.
Skimmed him, but takes a stun round shot in retreat.
Oh, I like
Great
this.
Use of smoke.
I like this. Jove tried to use target weak point there to stun the M26.
Especially if he had his other AT gun in combination, that would have been danger close for VonAsten's big all-human unit in the Pershing.
Well, we're not too far away from the Tiger now. 230 fuel. He just needs 640 manpower to bring this on. This is going to be a treat of a game, to be honest. There's 200 VPs, sorry, 180 VPs for Jove left, 350. But once that Tiger comes out with 2 Pack 40s as support, it's going to be harder for the M26 Pershing to make any ground.
I'm still just in the back of my mind. I've got that telemine in the middle of the road up north.
Yep, here it is.
Thinking about it, yeah. I think VonAsten needs to get channelers in, Mary Poppins sweepers in.
He's left a model here as a booby trap. They're going to check him for intel, and then everything's going to go off chaotically.
It's Johnny Type Lips on the floor though. He won't tell him nothing. Go suck a lamb. Somehow wound up in the Wehrmacht army, but never mind. But yeah, this looks like a death grip almost from VonAsten, but if anything's going to break out of that hold, it is the Kampfwagen Tiger tank rolling onto the field.
Absolutely.
Beautiful skin intact as well.
It is, yeah. Reminds me of when I had a cold a couple of weeks ago.
Definitely not a conversation. Doesn't care about the environment though. Goodbye, big tree.
Oh! Did the mine go off? Always got to be careful when you're standing units nearby. Actually, it's still there. The Tiger's just been revealed in the center. The Pershing is now having to come back a little bit to deal with this. Now, VonAsten may have thought that he was going to have a large window of time to use the Pershing. That isn't going to happen. There are riflemen near here with a stun... with a snare. They've used it. There was a shot from the Pershing, which means the snare goes off. That's actually really big.
Well timed as well, because his units were getting suppressed. There's a lot to think about there from VonAsten. Great play there. Bit Jove, when he gets this brand new toy, just wants to go run out and play with it straight away, show it off. But got a bit too over ambitious with it there in the middle.
Everyone's just tying their shoelaces here, just for the next battle.
Fixing their boots and laying a mine whilst they're at it.
We may be grunts, but we dress smartly.
And this is another thing that perhaps the Pershing against other heavy tanks is quite frustrating about. It can't pop out with its crew to fix it itself. So
yes, because that would be OP and unfair. And That used to happen, and it was changed because you could also jump out and break the pop cap, which is a feature of USF.
Oh, yep,
you can
yep.
jump out of your tanks and make some
Massaging
room
the
for some more
figures, yeah,
units. They're not
look at
that
the
good.
Yeah, USF are, they're like a Philly cheesesteak. They got something for everything. A lot of options.
Oh, has this been? I think this has been scouted. There are minesweepers there. Telemine. We were expecting big things from that. Has been scouted. Jove now starting to push south. VonAsten's got great control of the VPs. We're below 75 for Jove now. He's got to make something happen. He's got a big austere army. Why is nothing happening?
It's because it's a Kolodny firm. It's got pretty
This is
much
bad!
tanks. Oh!
Don't drive over your own mines.
Nearly did a Barton-esque get snared by your own telemine there. Luckily, the AoE was blessed for Jove there. He could have bravely snared his own Tiger tank right on the top VP.
Yeah. Splash damage, of course. Could have detonated that mine. That would have been.
I don't know how he got away with that one, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, Jove, we can see now, has managed to retake the north side of the map. He's also jumped on the center VP. A lot of veterancy flying around for Jove now.
Yep.
When you get into this late stage of the game, you start having these infantry squads fighting at their best, the most accurate with the weapons upgrades. And this is where we're going to start to get the really interesting engagements, more tools to play with. Jove just about to fill out some of his remaining pop cap with some more pioneers. Essential, I think, for the healing of these heavy vehicle. This heavy vehicle.
Definitely, he needs to get that the magical veterancy 2 on his pioneers for faster repair rate. But I winced just earlier, sorry to interrupt, was the Pershing nearly found a squad all clumped around a bit of a green cover sandbag there, and you just think, oh, every time you see it, you fear that big one-shot wipe.
It is scary.
All 4 models of the Grand Squads.
It is scary. Tiger is on the right-hand side. Tiger's got to do a lot of work here. It's probably the big tool scaring off VonAsten. VonAsten just been allowed to poke in here, change the positions of the AT guns, force the mortar half-track away. You can now hop inside this building for a bit of a sight vantage point. We just heard a unit go down there.
Yeah, one of those pioneers that he just built was... he didn't like that squad.
Oh, this is
he owed
bad.
him money.
Scout car with the Vet 2, the huge sight range could go down here. Not even the Tiger is able to scare this away. Jove, I think, is...
so risky. 2 BARs get dropped as well.
Wow.
We could see a double BAR, double Shrek P-Gren squad. Hype.
Oh, VonAsten loses another squad there. 2 squad wipes. And VonAsten, who looked totally in control of this game, is starting to encounter serious issues now. He's just given away 2 very good weapons to his opponent. Lost 2 squads.
Or was it just the Jove effect kicking in?
Yeah,
I think to that late game.
Overextended, it's unnecessary. Look, VonAsten's got 338 VPs right now. He has time to rebuild. He's also just brought out the Jackson, so there's something to deal with the Tiger, whilst the Pershing can now focus again on the infantry.
Are you trying to ruin my prediction, VonAsten? Not like this. You had this game easy. So Jove fighting back with 46 VPs. Stubborn mule is Jove as a CoH2 player. You just never think you've finally got him beat.
Absolutely. 46 VPs. There's going to be some holes if Jove does pull this off. MG42 protecting in the north. Jove starting to get aggressive. He's got the AT gun there. He's got the pack gun ready. And we might see, once the vision gets there, we might see him use that target weak point again. Yeah. If he stuns the Pershing, the Tiger will kill it. I'm very sure of that.
Yeah, the Pershing, with all this anti-infantry ability, is a bit squishier of the heavy tanks. Can't get too gung-ho with it, but with the Jackson now, a long-range sparring partner for the Tiger. I think that's great armor composition from VonAsten now as we transcend into the real late game.
Yeah, that's very good. Smoke called in then, off-map Smoke, I think trying to protect the machine gun, the 50 cal, from being destroyed. The AT gun did get it with the ground attack. Which is good. Going to force VonAsten to buy another one of those. Vet 3 on the Lieutenant. Very fast squad now. Essential for capping these VPs. He's only going to get 46 off of Jove.
This is almost like that crazy time that you've come down to the final 2 people in a poker game and you're just trying to clear the other person out. You're doing riskier and riskier stuff. VonAsten needs to keep his cool though.
Absolutely.
Double BAR not even picked up. He doesn't even want the US
weaponry. He's got many slots. He could be on the
Klaus'
Pioneers before we know.
us.
We could have a great Pioneer squad. which isn't a bad idea. They could get veterancy quickly and repair faster.
Good point, good point. They'll be vet 2 in no time with double BAR. Long range pack shots. One of the best AT guns in this game. Just putting the Pershing back. I think he's popping out the crew a lot of the Stuart. It's just a glorified repair crew on wheels at the moment now for VonAsten.
Yep.
Desperate for repairs.
Actually, where is that?
Oh, it's fixing itself for once. It's showing itself.
He's lost the vehicle crew.
Oh, yeah.
Or has no, I think he's put it in the Jackson, perhaps.
Okay, yeah, you can have...
Yeah, there it is, there it is. There
yeah,
it is.
yeah. Good spot.
I think he's swapped it. But where the vehicle crew for the Jackson went, we don't know.
I think weapon training accident. Grease gun went off.
Grease gun wasn't greased.
Double Shrexer and a bundle nade to boot. Bundle nade and Pershing does damage.
That did some good damage. That was
I was pretty surprised with that one.
under the tracks. Now this could be the end of the Panzer Grenadier squad. Pershing.
Butt clencher time for Jove. He really needs that veterans 2P grand.
Oh,
Skips away. Line of sight, blessing him there with all the shrubbery.
Sherman for VonAsten.
Going for full armor bingo if he gets the Scott out.
This is a serious problem for VonAsten. His unit preservation in the infantry department has been pretty poor, and he's down to just one rifleman now.
Yep.
Echelon Major Lieutenant. It's not an amazing loadout. Sherman here, its role is going to be to clear this MG42, and then I think try and cap the VP, which it's a really good idea, to be honest. VonAsten's, I think, making peculiar plays, just trying to get that last 46 VP.
It's a bit forced, I think, yeah. It's going for the closeout a bit too early. Doesn't have the infantry composition to back up his armor at the moment. Oh, no, Sherman, please. This could be attack round glory. No, doesn't go for it.
Oh, the Tiger.
Oh.
The Tiger knew. The Tiger's on the flank.
Didn't want
It's
to
going to be a
take
big
the
hit. There it is.
There it is.
Sherman down.
Goodbye. It barely just come on the field.
No. Now that was really, really good movement sense from Jove, bringing the Tiger straight over for that, just perfectly executed. VonAsten just gambling a bit there, I think.
Yeah. Jove playing super safe. Vet 3, 222 scout car now, providing all the vision, bit of extra HP. Another thing, was that the Stuart?
I don't know what that was.
Or was that the most aggressive teller ever and he just walked on it? I don't know.
Wait. Okay, just checking.
Yeah, was it a glory mortar round through the hatchet or something?
I'll admit I don't know what happened.
Bye-bye, Stuart.
I actually don't know what happened, unless the pack gun got it actually. So I think it's probably
one less unit for VonAsten to micro. There's a silver lining for everything.
I'm honestly a little bit shocked right now. Now Jove is, I think, quite clearly coming into the lead. He's got enough resources just to build some bunkers now.
This is my level of play. Like when you don't want to ever have to micro around on the top VP anymore, just build a bunker.
But Tiger getting its veteran C2. We need to see. Oh, VonAsten just losing so many squads. If he could just keep his squads alive and work the center, you know, he's got the mortar. He can smoke the AT guns. He doesn't need to be making these adventurous plays up in the north for this VP. I think he just needs to take one good engagement in the center, turn this around a little bit. It's just a Tiger. Yeah. It's just a Tiger and some AT guns. He's got the tools for this.
But that Tiger's got pretty big claws now at veterancy too. It's almost going to become a homemade Tiger ace soon. So it's definitely been well looked after by Jove. I just feel VonAsten lacks a bit of... We just saw some off-map artillery from the major use, but this doctrine really, really late game kind of lacks any kind of off-map big all-in push ability, whereas Jove has still got the fragmentation bombs.
Well, the one thing that I think VonAsten could use is combined arms. That's not too bad if he wants to run. That's a huge hit from the Tiger.
Click the ability that no one ever really sees.
No one ever
take
sees
him
it.
off guard.
Yeah, but it's a very good ability actually, and you know, I think there are tools there. The off-map smoke I think is very useful in just helping to cause a little bit of chaos.
Fun fact as well. Combined arms does work with ambulance, so just in case you need to get all units in there for that grand GG
just
push.
got a lot better.
Too bad you don't get it that early on. Could see ambo abuse with a load of
Did you see the Major then pull the bazooka out of his inner pocket? It just reached in.
That was him. One I found earlier. Double rear echelon from VonAsten though, not... Oh! Did I say double? I meant one. Denied. One doesn't get home, so that's just one rifleman and one rear echelon left. It's looking dangerously bad for VonAsten's infantry count now.
Yeah, and of course Jove just picking up all the weapons, all the spoils of war that VonAsten leaves behind in his bloody trail back to base. I don't understand why VonAsten isn't making more work here. These vehicles need to prioritize the Tiger, and
it's backed up by its little brother pack gun, so VonAsten knows if he does overextend, potential stun round, as we've mentioned earlier, it could be all curtains for his armor very quickly.
Yeah, it's you're right. Ooh, what's going on here? Some medical supplies healing on the front lines. Jove just trying to make the best use of his time on the field rather than retreating to base. Sherman, round 2. Now, this is going to end. We talked about this, Teller.
That's my mind.
We waited all game for that.
Finally.
That got scouted. That got scouted 15 minutes into the game. And VonAsten did nothing about it, forgot it was there. And the Sherman, again, going down immediately.
Oh, taking out an abandoned Sherman, Dan. Oh, no. It even shot when it had one model left.
Oh.
His dying breath.
So
VonAsten must be on triggered o'clock at the moment.
For anybody that isn't familiar with Company Heroes 2, that wasn't abandoned. The crew bailed out of the tank, leaving it there. Jove can repair that and use it himself now. Not that he needs to.
I think this is a rage push from the Persia. It's like, bad events just happened to me. Take this.
Main gun destroyed. Critical from the Panzer Grenadiers.
They grabbed the pack gun, though. I think he's just going to go for the cap, because suddenly those VPs are looking really bad for VonAsten too. Jove clawing his way back.
Jove's done amazingly. He's been on 46 VPs from quite an early position in this game. And definitely showing the power of Austere here with great sight from the scout car, great positioning from the AT guns, and just offensive infantry, constantly offensive infantry.
Yeah, like we said, that variation in the build, not going MG42 blindly, first you pick him before you've even known what the map is. This is really considered play here from Jove. He went early game with extra grens, 4 grens, and they're still all alive. His unit preservation's been top notch. Yeah, and in his armor plate to boot. How he's kept a mortar half-track at a 222 alive as well is pretty impressive. Yeah. Plus he takes out the Steward without us or anybody even knowing how. So yeah, it's been great play here from Jove transitioning to the late game. Austere done perfectly there.
Absolutely, yeah, and to finish off the remaining 20 pop cap that Jove has, I think we can afford the... Yeah, he's going to be able to get this Panther out just to finish the job, and then maybe jump into the Sherman. That would be... It's still there.
Yeah.
It's still there.
Teasingly close. With his pack gun decrewed as well. Everyone's just abandoned the north. They're like, scary Telemine there, don't go.
VonAsten here, a little bit overcommitted, not sure what the Jackson was shooting at there. Jove able to just ground attack first shot through the church, and allowed a huge second shot. Pershing just struggling, even with the Panzer Grenadiers.
Please give us the Tiger Ace. I want to see a homemade Tiger Ace.
Nope.
Jove. No! Denied.
VonAsten could not handle it in that game 1. It was VonAsten's game to lose, but it is going to be Jove that leaves. 1-0 in game 1. GG.
Achtung! Angriffstruppe ist unterwegs. Ziel erkannt. Abrufzone markiert.
Well, that was an amazing start to the third place playoffs. A huge, better games, by the way, from both players.
Yeah,
They
went all the way.
picked themselves up today to put on epic performances.
That was Austin played perfectly, though, from Jove. I mean, so many people have been afraid to play them, especially on Kolodny Firma, which has been previously an OKW favoured map. But it's great to see. I'm a bit of an Austin fanboy myself.
Same.
When they finally able to beat that early game kind of all-in push from the USF, it takes a lot of steel and basically patience to get through there.
It is,
brilliant micromanagement.
I think the key thing with that, and again, for anyone who's new to Company of Heroes, veterancy is just so important. That's a faction that really needs the veterancy bonuses for them to thrive. It goes into the late game, and the Tiger gets its Vet 3 and has the sight from the Scout car. Yeah. It can see everything, it can shoot everything. It's crazy.
He nurtured his Gren so well. Vet 3 Grenadiers with an LMG upgrade. You know, everyone's saying, "Oh, Grens are useless now." You know, go some other units, but Jove just showed they're still here to stay.
Absolutely. Before we go on a very short break before Game 2, Ed's going to be casting this entire series. Myself and A are going to be switching game for game. So A will be with you very shortly. But if you have just arrived on this stream, you have limited time to go to Steam right now and get Company of Heroes 2. Download it. It's free to play. And if you get it before 6 p.m. GMT, that's another 3 hours and 10 minutes.